Scarlet Knights fans, as reported by NewJersey.com, with all the speculation going on, transfer portal in full effect with the Pinstripe Bowl approaching fast this Thursday. NJ.com did report today that Gavin Wimsatt, the current starting quarterback of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, will be returning to the Banks for next year, his redshirt junior season. Interesting developments, given that you have a quarterback from Minnesota, Ethan, looking at potentially coming here. All indications point to the visit going well last weekend, and the fact that Kaliakmanis may in fact become a Scarlet Knight. Obviously, he has a history of playing under Kirk Shiraka his freshman year. Last year, he also played. You got to understand that his completion percentage was in the low 50s, whereas Gavin's was in the high 40s. Neither of them were stellar passers or, very accurate compared to the field. Although it does appear as though, Ethan's accuracy from watching the tape is a bit better than Gavin's. But Gavin looks to be better in the run game. I know some people out there, are skeptical of whether Gavin's running ability helped the offense this year, specifically the offensive line, specifically Kyle Manungai and the other backs, to have the type of season they had. I think, it's foolish to try to pretend that everything doesn't play into each other, right? Complementary football is complementary football. It takes 11 guys executing at a high level on any given play for a play to be successful. The fact that Gavin Wimsatt was successful running the football, and in some games it actually led to scores and, game-defining plays. In other games, having to account for Gavin's rushing ability as a defense certainly is going to open up the rushing game for other individuals. I thought sometimes Gavin really should have kept the ball in his hands on option plays where he chose to hand it to the back and vice versa, but that comes with experience and getting better. But Gavin said, look, I'm a Jersey. I love Jersey. I'm a Rutgers guy. I'm coming back next year. It didn't even cross my mind to enter the portal. Competition is competition. And I think this is going to get interesting if you're a Rutgers fan. It really is the best of both worlds at this point. If you can get a transfer quarterback with a different skill set in the building, and you still have Gavin Wimsatt, and both of these players are young enough to have a chance to continue to improve and have a high ceiling, I think it'll bring out the best in both players. If it's a legitimate competition, which we never know, right? We're always suspicious of whether a competition's legitimate or not. Is he coming in to back up Gavin? Is Gavin going to be the backup, or are they going to have a legitimate competition? Greg Schiano, for his part, in his press conference of the Pinstripe Bowl, did say that, he's transparent with everybody on the team about what the coaching staff is doing, what they're looking at in the transfer portal, and where players stand. So you would have to imagine that, the best way to go about this, in my opinion, would be to have an open competition. And may the best man win, and then whoever doesn't win the competition would be a hell of a suitable backup. And that's the best case scenario for Rutgers. We haven't had a quarterback room that strong in a long time, although I think Evan Simon was quite a capable backup this year. We're losing him, obviously, to Temple in the transfer portal. But look, it's good to hear that Gavin's spirits are high, that he's going into the bowl game with a full head of steam and all in on Rutgers. Could this change at the end of spring camp? If it looks like one guy or the other is going to get the starting job, do one of those guys look again to the transfer portal? That remains to be seen. But there was a lot of speculation out there, regarding whether or not Gavin would stay and compete. And it looks like he's staying for the time being. I think that's the best win-win case scenario for Rutgers fans. Admittedly, Gavin was not good enough in the passing game last year. We've said that time and time again. I'll say it again. He was not good enough in the passing game. But it's not like Kaliakmanis was that much better in the passing game. So, they both have to improve. Gavin has to improve. I still like Gavin's skill set. I still think he's a young player and he can improve. But if not, at least we have a transfer quarterback who has a different skill set, perhaps better throwing the football, and that may work better going forward for this offensive scheme. So just something to keep an eye on. I'm for one, happy that we're going to have both guys in the building by all indications, right? Because we haven't received word that we have a commitment yet from Ethan. So we'll see if that does take shape. But it seems as though that is the case here. We'll see as time goes on. There hasn't been an announcement yet. We'll see how that evolves and how that continues to evolve. But I did just want to touch base with everybody because I think it's good news. I think it's big news for Rutgers that we're going to maintain continuity and hopefully have an earnest competition, which will bring out the best people in the lineup and hopefully bring out the best play from every player out there. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you click subscribe. If you like Rutgers content, if you like what I'm saying to you, even if you love to hate what I'm saying to you, it can never hurt to get more perspectives on Rutgers sports. Click the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500. There's so much more we can do once we get to 500. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't checked my interview out with Aaron Brightman over on his channel, The Scarlet Faithful, go check that out. If you haven't checked Zach Guggenheim out on Big Ten Football Talk, I did an interview with him last week discussing Rutgers, the Pinstripe Bowl, our trajectory, and our outlook for next season. Check all those guys out. Check my other content out on those platforms and click subscribe. Get ready for the Pinstripe Bowl on Thursday. It's going to be exciting. Let's beat Miami. Go Knights.